Anderlini-D'Onofrio believes that a world where it is safe to love is a world where it is safe to live. She is a scholar, writer, activist, professor, and cultural theorist. Her book of ecosexual theory, Gaia and the New Politics of Love, is that the one over there?
Yeah.
On the table over there, available for purchase later, I guess. Is a 2010 Nautilus winner in cosmology and new science. She is the editor of Bitopia, 2011, Bisexuality and Queer Theory, 2010, Plural Loves, Designs for Bi and Poly Living, 2005, and Women and Bisexuality, A Global Perspective, 2003. Her memoir, Eros, A Journey of Multiple Loves, was a 2007 Lambda finalist. She is a professor of humanities and cinema at the University of Puerto Rico, my guest, and was a 2012-13 research fellow at the University of Connecticut Humanities Institute of Stores, Connecticut. In 2012, Serena keynoted at the EcoSex Symposium in Portland, Oregon, with a presentation titled EcoSexuality, the New Orgasmic Revolution on Planet Earth. In 2011, she keynoted at the EcoSex Symposium in San Francisco. She is the owner of Three-Way Kiss, a nonprofit dedicated to education and research in the arts of love. And in January 2014, recently, she aggregated the first plural wedding of ecosexual love in the Caribbean, Te Amo Playa Azul.
You have the invitation.
So I'd like to welcome Serena, and I'd like to also thank Sean Travers and Maribel Gomez for hosting us here at the LGBT Center. Thank you, Serena.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I've spent some of my most beautiful years in San Diego. It's a city that I love, and I also know it like the back of my hand because I didn't use maps when I moved here. I really want to get to know the city from the right brain. So, and the title I've chosen has to do with really the end of the talk, Ecosexuality Notes for an Orgasmic Earth. It's our collective project that has gelled up under that name. But I also want to give an introduction to ecosexuality, a sort of orientation tour, put it that way. So what is ecosexuality? It's an open arena of cultural discourse that aligns sexuality with ecology. And you can put anything you want under that umbrella.
Yeah.
Then how can we describe the ecosexual movement? I would say it's a movement of movements that invents the belief systems we need to overcome the crisis we face and manufacture the realities we want. And I hope that's a wide enough definition. I wouldn't want to call it definition, more like a description. So as a movement, it's something, movement does things. So what does ecosexuality perform? This change of metaphor, I'm just focusing on some central tropes, change of metaphor to Earth as lover. What does this change of metaphor perform? It sensualizes/sexualizes nature's ecosystems as actors in the scene of love, not just backdrop. Remember the beautiful moon and the lovers who kiss, but now the moon is a partner, is an actor in the scene of love. Mm-hmm. It compels us to share the earth and her ecosystems as a partner we love. And it compels our species to behave like responsible adults toward natural resources rather than like children, as per the metaphor of Earth as a mother. A variant is ecosexual love, and I like that. Sorry about the typo there. What does ecosexual love perform? I describe ecosexual love as the love that reaches beyond genders, numbers, orientations, races, ages, origins, species, and even biological realms, to embrace all of life as a partner with equal rights. If the earth is a lover, then everything that's on the planet is a lover too. Another performance is to help us imagine Gaia as a hostess, Gaianistas, right? Gaia as a hostess, the biota as a sovereign entity with power to choose us as a species or not. As you know, as a guest, you're welcome up to the time that the host gets tired of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to remind yourself of that. So, it pauses us not to take for granted this hospitality. It also performs, the actualization of this belief system that love is the ecology of life. That basically love is this cosmic energy that circulates and animates matter with life. And it encourages us to practice love as an art and to practice art as a form of activism. The way that this cosmic energy is channeled through us, then it becomes, the way we deploy it becomes this art. So one way to perform ecosexual love is to create ecosexual weddings. And the first two parts of this talk are going to be about two types of ecosexual weddings. Okay? So wedding/marriage, it definitely is a central trope in amorous discourse. It's been like that for a long time. So how does ecosexuality reconfigure this trope to perform ecosexual values? How does this ecosexuality perform this change in metaphor of Earth as lover? By choosing ecosystems as partners in human relationships, by practicing love, practicing love in ways that are fluid, inclusive, and sustainable, and by envisaging Gaia as gay. Remember, I got this from Italian. Gaia means gay in Italian, in original sense, cheerful, happy. It really does. And it's also used as a first name for women. And it comes from Latin, Gaio, Gaius, it means gay. Okay, so gay, namely a planet blessed with jouissance. Remember, this is the French word for orgasm, jouissance, especially female jouissance. It's the same root, jouir, Gaio, godere, it's all from the Latin word gaius, which means cheerful, happy. Somebody was having an orgasm. Okay? So it really helps to make the environmental movement more fun, sexy, and diverse. And the quotation is from Annie Sprinkle, and that's
Nice.
okay. So the two types of ecosexual wedding I will present to you. One is really the series that is now complete, even though still more weddings are happening in the wake of this series. And this is the work of Annie Sprinkle and Elizabeth Stevens. Then I will present my little teeny weeny ecosexual wedding that I did in the Caribbean with the potential for developing. So this series is, you find it, all the pictures you can possibly imagine at the loveartlab.org. And the project as a whole is called the Love Art Lab. And so it's a series of ecosexual weddings that happened between 2005 and 2011. And I couldn't keep myself from really talking about this because I think that it brought the world's attention onto this practice of creating ecosexual weddings. So any ecosexual wedding will refer to this prototype, even though there will be many variations, and I do hope that the practice really expands. So if you know a little bit about Tantra knowledge, Tantra wisdom, there is this understanding that that the body has these energy centers in different colors, from the root chakra to the crown chakra. Okay, there are energy centers for the body that have particular ways to process certain types of energies that we absorb from the outside world. And the series is organized around these colors, so that every year, beginning with the root chakra, it goes one chakra up, going from the root chakra to the second chakra, the sixth chakra, and on until it goes to the chakra of wisdom. Okay, so this is the first wedding, and it's the red wedding. Red stands for security and survival. And you see that, already the wedding ceremony really presents the discourse for marriage equality. It presents the issue of marriage equality in gay terms. The second year is 2006. We have the orange wedding. And again, the second chakra is considered the chakra of sexuality and creativity. And you see how interestingly the wedding itself is sexualized, which is what I really love, because remember that in the classical age, the bed was the altar of the wedding. Right? You didn't first go to church and then go home and consume the wedding. No. The altar itself, the sacred moment of the union, was performed on the bed. So then we get to the yellow year with the yellow weddings. And this is the chakra, the dantian, the chakra of courage and power. Okay, so we're on the third year. And then we get to the fourth year. So we get to the heart chakra, which is also colored green in Tantra wisdom. And here we are in Shakespeare's Glen at the University of California at Santa Cruz. And so this is the first in the series where there's this new partner coming in, and that is the earth. Okay, so this wedding was when these two brides married the earth. And I find this just amazingly beautiful, especially with the costumes reminding of Shakespeare's festive comedies in Shakespeare's Glen at Santa Cruz for a literary cornucopia. And you see how it's really performance art, and the costumes are absolutely beautiful and very imaginative. So green, remember, is also in Tantra wisdom the chakra of love and compassion. It's the heart chakra, and it's colored green, so it just converges all the eco-sexual energies and the emotions. Okay, so then the whole series moves on continuing to really invite these forces of nature's ecosystems and natural weddings into the wedding ceremonies as these added partners. So the 2009 is the year of the blue weddings. The blue chakra is the throat chakra, and it's the chakra of expression. And one was to the sky. And again, the magic of this series is that the colors of the chakra correspond to the colors of the elements that are being married. And I think that's very important because it shows this mirroring of the outer landscape and the inner landscape. I like to call the human body or any organism an ecosystem, right? So we are ecosystems surrounded with other ecosystems, and that's all the Gaia theory. Okay, so this wedding is to the sky, and then there is this also amazing wedding to the sea in Venice. And here I must make a little Italian digression, because for Venice it's normal to marry the sea. And the whole city marries the sea every year. It's a ceremony called Sensa. Remember that Venice was a city of courtesans. It was a city where courtesans were so good that the kings of Europe visited because they knew that they would get the best of the courtesan arts. And that also, it sent the Inquisition packing, especially with Veronica Franco, and that therefore for Venice, the fact that a whole city marries what brings prosperity to the city, which is the sea, is just no-brainer. You know, marriage is not just for two people, the whole city can do it. So in that way is when this whole project became really highly recognized with the Biennale of Venezia, which is a major art show. And here you see how the wedding also expands. There's more and more people participating with their performances and costumes, and there's this color coding. So blue is for communication. And then we have the forehead chakra, purple. This is intuition and wisdom. And this one was in LA, in Altadena actually. It became even bigger, even more expanded. And you see again, it's a performance art wedding really of the highest quality with a lot of different numbers. The guests bring their numbers, like, you know, if they do any kind of performance number, they bring it, and that's the gift to the wedding. It's not just a material gift, but really a gift of performance, of creativity. These are some of the paraphernalia. I was a participant in this one. I gave a little introduction, and that's my friend Deborah Anna Powell and Annie Sprinkle. And the same year there was this wedding to the Appalachian Mountains. Why? Because it's an ecosystem that is in danger. There's mountaintop removal. They're opening up these mountains and then removing the coal. And it's terribly devastating to everything around it, because then all the debris, you know, invades the ecosystems and basically becomes a wasteland. So because Beth Stevens is from this region, they really organized this wedding. So in a way, there's also focus on specific ecosystems that one feels either grateful for or wants to protect with this inclusion in the marriage ceremony as partners. And then the final year of the Love Art project is the white, silver, and black weddings. This is the white wedding to the snow in Canada. This is one of the most amazing. I wasn't there, unfortunately. And again, you will see that the sexualization of, I mean, how many weddings have you gone with contortionists, naked contortionists? It's part of the, you know, what you get, right? So it's a way it brings the sensuality, the sexuality back into the wedding ceremony. It's not something you do behind closed doors when you're consecrated already. It is the sacredness of it in that wedding. So this was in Spain. It was a wedding to the rocks in gray, and then to the coal in a black wedding. So I'm going to conclude now with this series and move into the next series. Yes. So I want to introduce this one a bit. It was the invention of me and Shaisun Usab, who is a filmmaker based in Mumbai, an alternative filmmaker, not a Bollywood type. And we corresponded for a number of months, over a year, and then we came up with this overarching title, Hearts on Fire, and the subtitle, Together in Ecosexual Love. And we do hope to develop this into a series of documentary films. We've only done one, actually we've done the footage for one so far. Okay, so it's the series that is inviting you to Te Amo Playa Azul, I love you. And this is this sort of language sliding title I invented, because it starts in Spanish and then ends in English. And I do hope that for most people, you know, Te Amo is understandable enough. If you have just one Spanish-speaking lover, you should know that phrase. And in any event,
I hope so.
It could be useful. I prefer that to te quiero, because te amo is more compersive, it's more going toward the other person, whereas te quiero is a little more possessive. So, and the different style, first of all, this is a much more modern, modest and homemade type of wedding, but also in this project, everyone who wants to marry the ecosystem is a spouse, is a bride or a groom. So there is no central dyad or couple. Everyone who wants is a spouse. So that's why I call it spice. In Pali language, you know, the plural is a bit of a joke. The plural of the word spouse is not spouses, but it is spice.
I love it.
So now we have spice on Playa Azul. And that's my sacred name, Serena Gaia. I finally embraced this name that really came to me because Serena means Gaia in some ways. It's a higher level, more ethereal level of happiness, which is really hard to sustain. But you're supposed to be happy if your name is Serena, right? And it's Venice. Serena was called the Serenissima, the super serene republic. So, so I am presenting this for the team. Shaisun Usab was the director, the artistic director and the filmmaker. And then the team that really aggregated around this project includes Heather Anya Trahan, Lloyd Sparks, Maria Virginia Sanchez, Paula Pagan. Some of these are my students. Others are people who've worked in polyamorous rhetoric, like Heather, and musicians. Okay, and this is the general introductory flyer to the series. And this was the invitation that we created for this particular wedding. You can see the date there. And this is actually based on a picture taken from my terrace. I have lived on this beach for 16 years, and I have loved this beach. She is my primary partner. And it was with ecosexuality that I could really become aware of that. So that was how I sort of transitioned into ecosexuality, saying, who is my primary partner? Oh, I know who my primary partner is because I always go back to this beach. Okay, and this was a very general invitation that we did to the community. As you see, it's balanced Spanish and English because Puerto Rico is a bilingual culture, and we really wanted to aggregate people regardless of language, making everyone feel welcome. And this invitation was out for several months until, whoever was willing manifested. We didn't want to preclude people. And this is a picture taken from the top of my terrace in my building. You see that it's really a beautiful and pristine beach, even though the condominiums are on top of it. And I want to explain a little bit about how the public and private interact in Puerto Rico. These, because Puerto Rico is an American territory, all beaches are public. There's no way to privatize a beach. However, the builders build very, very close to the shore. So you have this interface where actually if you live in one of these condominiums and there are rowdy people on the beach, they can make your life hell. So in a way, you have to tend to the beach. You have to become a steward or a lover of the beach so that you make sure that the private sector helps to keep the public space clean and hospitable to people who love nature. Because otherwise you will get lots of people go there, but they go there with their loud speakers and with their barbecues, and they don't collect the garbage and so on and so forth. And because over the years I have really promoted this collaboration between public and private sector to really keep this ecosystem clean and available for nature lovers, I was celebrating this result as well. Because we have all the condominiums clean the beach. The natural resources doesn't. So we have, in a way, intervened where the state funds are not available. And this is the space we sacralize between those two trees. These are called uva playera. It's like a tree that grows on tropical beaches, and the fruits resemble grapes, but it's not a grape, not a vine. And this is how we put the canopy and the blankets for people to come together. We had the blessings of the authority. This is the superintendent of natural resources of Western Puerto Rico. We didn't exactly explain that it was going to be a wedding. It's an education to love of nature. We put it in more general terms. And that's his wife. They came just at the beginning. And here, this is a trailer that our director prepared. The film is not available yet. We're looking for funding, and I think we are on the tracks, underwriter. But we only have a trailer to show for the film so far. And it's there are a couple of mistakes we couldn't correct it. Ecosexuality, we can imagine it as a new form of the arts of loving. Ecosexual love is a way to re-envision the arts of love as the arts of loving beyond gender, beyond numbers, beyond ages, beyond orientations, races, origins, species, and even biological realms. This is the tropical forest of Puerto Rico in an age stage where the discourses of marriage equality are on the table for cultural discussion. And this is a way to really embrace all of life as a partner with equal rights. These were our guests from Ohio. They came as a triad. Ecosexuality, for me, was a great gift. All the editing, studio editing is done in India. And as an aside, in India, a high salary is about $1,000. So it's a great advantage for us. And at the same time, we do pay what for them is a good salary. So that's how we managed to get started.
Is that per year?
Huh?
Is that per year, per month?
Per month.
Per month.
That's what the director